So hours from now, we are expecting an address by our Prime Minister to talk about the further lockdown measures that we can expect here in London and we can expect across England and the rest of the UK. So Tier 4 is what we're in right now, and 78% of the country is currently in Tier 4 lockdown, which basically means everything's closed, you can't see your friends and family, and now we're talking about Tier 5, or maybe Tier 6 is what's coming next. Now, what could be next? Well, they're threatening to potentially shut our schools down indefinitely. It could also mean curfews like we've seen in other countries. It could mean you can't leave your house for any reason whatsoever. It could mean mandatory masks at all times, inside, outside, etc. Or it could mean even further measures to lock us down. I want to get your thoughts. Because you have been watching this whole thing unfold for the past 9 months. You were here when the first lockdown happened, where we were told it was going to be 2 weeks in March to protect the NHS. I love how they use that around. Every time they say protect the NHS, they insult the NHS, in my opinion, because they use it as a scapegoat for their questionable agendas, which have nothing to do with science, which have nothing to do with our economy, has nothing to do with the education of our children, has to do with something else that is never in the interest of the citizens. And so I'm curious what our Prime Minister is going to say, but we know it's going to be bad news. We know our economy has been devastated. We know our younger generation, now being called Generation COVID, doesn't believe they have a future. And at this point, they're going to go to school from their room at home. They're going to get their job at their room at home. And I guess they'll probably have their funeral at their room at home. I mean, this is what the future looks like. And if I was 16, 17, like my daughter is, I wouldn't be feeling very good about my future. When I was that age, my mom told me I could do anything I want and be anything I want. And it really looked like a possibility, and now it's not. Not to mention the long-term economic damage we are doing to this country, which means, by definition, we are not protecting the NHS because it relies on tax revenues, which means the UK has to be pumping out like a G7 country, creating value for the world, which we're very good at. London's quite good at. 80% of London is a service sector economy. Our intellectual property and our brains fuels commerce around the world. But right now, it's being locked down and shut down. And again, by definition, it is not protecting the NHS. When you lock us down, you're by definition not saving lives. You're not protecting our health. You're not protecting our mental health. You're not investing in our future generations. So again, the politicians have lied to us. They have failed us, and they are trying to sell you a bag of goods, under the auspices of protecting lives and protecting the NHS, when actually they're costing lives and they're punishing the NHS at the same time. So tell me if I'm wrong. Leave me your comments below. Again, I am using their numbers against them. I am using their numbers that the suicide rate is at a 20-year high. I'm using their numbers that national depression levels are double that of February pre-lockdown levels. I've had entrepreneurs on my show. I've had doctors, I've had nurses, I've had Nobel Prize winners, I've had people in the theaters, people in the tourism industry. I've had everybody on, and they all say the same thing. The long-term economic damage is killing this country, and it doesn't justify this lockdown. No matter what cases you throw at me, no matter how much you try to use the protect the NHS line to get me to do things that don't make sense for our long-term future. So leave me your comments below. As you know, I want to take London in a new direction. I've got simple ideas based on science. I want to make a proportionate response to this virus, and I want to show leadership. Leaders innovate. Leaders educate. Leaders find solutions. They don't use fear as a weapon. They don't take duplicitous actions, and they don't co-opt data for their own agendas. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of this two-party system. The more I learn about politics, the more it disgusts me, the more shady it looks, and the more it makes no sense that they're acting in the interest of the people, which is what democracy was all about the last time I checked. So leave me your comments below. I am optimistic on the future, but we've got to all come together and get some new leadership and move in a new direction. Thank you.